My name is Ian Evans, and I am a second year student here at Mississippi State. I'm an envoy. So I help out with admissions, I give tours, I meet alumni, and I help out around the college wherever I can. Today, I'm going to be having a little chat with our very own staff psychologist, Dr. Pauline Prince. She has more than 30 years of experience working with students, and she is a board certified neuropsychologist that is here to promote mental health, mental wellness, and all kinds of other activities at MSU CVM. Dr. Prince, how are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you. And you?
I'm doing just great. Would you mind telling us a little bit more about what your role here is at MSU CVM?
Sure. The Dr. Hoblet and Dr. Smith, when they hired me about 2.5 years ago, expressed an absolute desire that they have a psychologist that is fully embedded in all that takes place within this building. They didn't want someone that just sat in their office and allowed students to come to them. And while I do see students in my office to meet counseling needs for anxiety, depression, any sort of academic distress, even some assessments that we do for accommodations, I get to go throughout the entire building. So as you know, you'll see me in your classes.
Mhm.
You'll see me in sophomore surgery. I am downstairs in the clinics. Y'all do some incredible things, and it, by nature, has some stress built into it. Y'all have long days. You deal with death. You have, academic distress. There's a lot of mental health and wellness needs, and being able to meet those needs wherever they are, whether it's in sophomore surgery or down in the clinics or in my office, is what I get to do every day. And I truly enjoy my job.
And we truly appreciate everything that you do for us. So, kind of like you mentioned, this is almost a new program, a new facility that is offered to vet programs, and you're trying to really expand upon it and maybe make it something that's going to be available more at other veterinary schools across the U.S. Is there what is your strategy for building your program that you've developed?
So, despite having 30 years of experience prior to walking into this position, I needed to do a needs survey to figure out what the needs were for this building. Then we were able to craft a wellness program to meet those needs. Most recently, this past May, we repeated that wellness needs survey so that we could now have a new focus for the next 2 years on how to best meet your needs. So some things that came out of those needs surveys were things like sophomores, or your second year students having an afternoon off. The fact that both first and second year students have predictable test days, and that for second year students, those test days are not happening immediately after sophomore surgery or while you've been here all night caring for your dog. We've been able to create a house system that allows for a greater sense of family, that connects first years with second years, with third years, with fourth years, and creates this sense of family. We looked at how to best manage academic distress within the classrooms. Y'all now get to know what your final grades are, when you take final exams, instead of having to wait for everyone to complete it. Those were things that came out of the needs survey to meet your needs. Having more study rooms. So our new student study lounge has private study rooms where groups can get together, and they're not limited by the library hours. They're open 24/7 for you. So those needs surveys allowed me to know what the needs were of our students, our faculty, and our staff, so that we could craft a wellness program to meet those needs.
There are a couple other programs that we also offer. Would you be able to talk a little bit about our Big Little program or our faculty mentorship program as well?
Well, so we built the house to incorporate the Big Little program. So as you know, second year students are the bigs for the littles of the first year students. And that continues throughout the entire time here. So it's not a surprise that bigs and littles are part of the same house. And so we incorporated that into our house system. We were able to, in time, we're hoping that we will be able to invite faculty to join your houses so that our faculty mentorship belongs to a house, and now it's a trickle-down effect for that mentorship. So the relationship that y'all have with your mentors, you can have an opportunity to also mentor some of the younger students within your house. And it just creates an efficient system. I should also note just a little bit that the house system came about with a great deal of generosity from Boehringer Ingelheim. They have been a very huge support, business partner with a lot of our mental health and wellness needs, but they are a very big contributor to our house system. A lot of the funding that we were able to use to have kickoff funding came from BI, and we are very grateful for their support. And I don't want to show any disrespect whatsoever to Purina. Purina is a huge contributor to our mental health and wellness as well. Going back to the needs survey, within the needs survey, the first time around, as well as the second time around, I learned that several of y'all have some food insecurities. So we've partnered with Purina, and Purina provides grab-and-go protein snacks. And they've done that now for a little over a year. And thanks to Purina, they've now doubled that donation so that we can have 2 snack stations, one up in the wellness center and one down in the clinics. It is very difficult when you are in the clinics and you anticipated that your day was going to be a long day, but it turned out to be longer based on patient needs, and you didn't quite pack enough to eat. So being able to grab a protein snack will help get you through the day. So we're very grateful to both BI and to Purina for recognizing that there are mental health and wellness needs that can be met through their generosity. You, as well as a couple of other students, have really taken some initiative in growing our mental health and wellness program. Your disc golf course that is coming alive is huge. And we've got another student who's organizing a CrossFit event. Y'all have really taken what I have advocated from the very beginning about the importance of movement and built it into our wellness program. And I don't want to forget to mention the beginnings of our gym upstairs on the 4th floor, the mini gym. And while we just have a few pieces of equipment there, we are moving in that direction of creating that space and making it have many pieces of equipment and more usable for more students. That also came out of the needs survey, that it's very difficult when you are in class from 8 to 5, and being able to work out here would be a huge benefit. So we're still looking for funding for some of that equipment, but we are moving in that direction. So there's a lot of good stuff that's come out of our needs survey.
A lot of exciting new things going on here, for sure.
Absolutely.
One of the things that I've always really enjoyed that you, as well as your interns, have put on is your professional development classes and your wellness talks. Just this week, we had a wellness talk. If you would like to, mention a little bit about what you talked about this week and what you also like to talk about at other programs that you put on here for us.
I'm with you the very first day, right? So I'm with you in that first year orientation, and your first introduction would be, why would you see a psychologist in the first place? And we go over all of the reasons that you would come to see me. It has nothing to do with being stupid or crazy, right? Is that there are skill sets that I have to offer that can help make vet med easier. How is it that you apply those skills to this new situation? And then in first year, I talk a little bit about study strategies. I talk about test taking skills, and I talk about performance anxiety and how performance anxiety can interfere with your demonstration of skills. And then in the second round of 3 series, we talk a little bit about how you kind of need endurance training, that first semester is really long. And we talk about anxiety in general and what anxiety does for skill demonstration and how is it that we manage anxiety. And then last but not least, we talk about suicide prevention efforts. And so that is the 6 presentations that take place as part of the professional development for first-year students. We also did a mental health and wellness screening for first-year students. Second-year students are still in the planning. We kind of got delayed with COVID, but that's still in the works. But as for this week and what we were able to do for second-year students is I went in and talked about performance anxiety and working with teams. Anxiety can derail the stuff that you prepared very well for when you're cutting on an animal for the first time. And how is it that you work in effective teams? And that was absolutely to your class, and it was meant to be a discussion, and it went beautifully. Y'all contributed really well, asked some very thoughtful, insightful questions, and we were able to come up with some strategies to manage the circumstances that happen in the surgery lab. And then that was immediately followed by a lunch and learn where my interns presented on work-life balance and how is it that we're able to build in strategies so that it's not school all the time. And y'all had a really cool craft project to where she was able to demonstrate the principles that would be needed to have appropriate work-life balance.
To you, what makes those services so important, not just while you're in CVM, but even after we leave the CVM community and enter the real world, the job world, and how do we maintain those skills that we're able to learn from you?
Well, as you know, because we've discussed this a couple of times, Dr. Hoblet and Dr. Smith have made it a sincere commitment that when you leave here practice ready for veterinary medicine, you also have the skill sets that you need to manage the emotional stress that goes inherently with your job. So they don't want you to be part. Mississippi State veterinarians will not be part of the scary mental health statistics for your profession. If we can prevent that here by giving you the skills now, then we really hope to prevent you from being part of your scary mental health statistics. So it's our goal not only to help you be practice ready as veterinarians, but also to give you the skill sets that you need for your own mental health and wellness.
What kind of advice do you have for prospective students, and what kinds of things would you offer up to them?
My advice to prospective students is to remember to breathe. Blue is never a good color for an interview. So remember to breathe and show off and highlight what is unique about you. Relax and enjoy the interview.
Dr. Prince, I want to thank you for your time today, for your words of advice, and also just being able to learn about all the opportunities that are offered through your department here at MSU CVM.
Ian, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so very much for giving me this opportunity.